Everybody, it's Karla with Karla's Clever Crafts. I am back to do a fall wreath. So tonight we're going to be using this welcome fall sign. This is a customer's order that I'm working on. I did get this sign from the Dollar Tree. It's been a few years ago, so I don't know that you'd be able to find this exact sign, but they do come out with different ones every year, so you probably could find something similar. And then I am using also the 14 frame from the Dollar Tree. And then I have it pre-wired with 18 pipe cleaners, which I use most often. This is the layout that I use. If you've not seen me do the layout before and you want to screenshot it so you can remember, that would be fine. Or I have a video tutorial just on how I wire my frames. If you leave me a comment, I can send you the link to that. Okay, so we got 18 pipe cleaners, Dollar Tree 14-inch wire frame, and our sign. We're going to be using two different meshes for this design. We're going to use, this is a poly burlap beige mesh, and I cannot recall, I either got this from Craft Outlet or Hobby Lobby. And then this one is a orange and brown check with beige woven through it. And this one definitely came from Craft Outlet. Okay. I have both of my mesh pieces cut to 18 inches long, and we're going to be doing Krafts. And then we're going to use these two ribbons. These are 2.5 inches wide, cut to 12 inches long. Both of these, I believe I purchased on Amazon either last year or year before last. They're probably still available though, because I usually see these two ribbon patterns on there every year. And then someone had asked me not too long ago about, I do some designs with 6-inch ribbons, and this happens to be one of those designs that I did use 6-inch ribbons. So I'm going to be showing you guys how that I do that tonight. So for this design and the way that I laid it out, you'll need 9 of each of these, and then you're going to need 9 6-inch pieces. And I'm using, it's like a shiny brown, like a metallic brown. And then I have this like burnt orange check ribbon, and both of these came from Craft Outlet, and they're cut to 6 inches long. And then I've dovetailed all of them. The 6-inch pieces, you only need to dovetail on one end, and you'll see why when we go to attach those. I'll explain. Okay. So let me move the ribbons. I'm going to actually move them somewhere else because earlier I knocked them all on the floor and messed them up. Okay. Okay, so we will start with our mesh. And what we're going to do, I did a snowman earlier today. If you joined me for that one, we're going to use all Krafts on this design like we did the snowman, but the layout of how we put the Krafts on is going to be different. So if you missed the snowman earlier and you want to catch that, it is on replay. So for this one, I'm going to start with the check pattern one, and I make my Krafts all the same. I fold it over 4 times, and then I use a clip to hold that, turn it away from me, and repeat the same thing on the other end. And I do fold my curl kind of tight because I like my curl to hold and these ends to stay under. Turn it face down. Scrunch up the middle, bits at a time to give us like this ruffled look. Okay, and then we're going to lay our first piece of mesh in with finished edge to the inside and the outside. Actually, we're going to lay all of them in that way. And we're not going to work on the outside and then the inside. We're going to work in order. So next, we will do this orange one from the inside. And just so I don't get confused and follow the wrong pattern, I'm going to go ahead and push these to the outside. Okay. And then we're going to rotate these two types of mesh. Oh, I forgot to turn my chat on. Okay. So again, I'm just folding it over 4 times. Hey, Teresa, I made it back. Okay, and fold this end over 4 times. Again, I turn my curls face down. You don't have to do that. That's optional. I started doing that a while back because I feel like it protects those cut edges on the curls a little bit better, but you don't have to do that. You can lay them with your curls up if you want more of a curl look. Okay. Now I need to keep these pipe cleaners up because we're going to come back and add ribbons to every single one of them. Okay, so we're just going to go in order. I did the one on the inside, so now I'm going to do this one and then the brown and then the inside, back out to the brown, brown, inside, all the way around. And I've already pre-made the rest of these cruffles, so this should go pretty quick. And we're going to lay them all the same direction this time. And if you weren't watching me earlier, I did want to mention that I will be doing a Christmas green monster wreath and garland tomorrow. I'm going to do those live. And I'll probably do them as two separate lives. I'll probably do the wreath first and then later in the day come back and do the garland. But I have a Christmas order, a customer order for that set as well. So we'll be working on that tomorrow so that I can get that in the mail on Monday. Yes, Donna, very much. It has definitely helped me to stay busy. And I haven't really been able to do a lot of crafting from dealing with other things. So this is really quite a release for me. It's nice to be able to do it again. Hi, Linda. So I know some of you guys watched earlier when I did the snowman, this layout, we're using Cruffles again, but this layout is different. Instead of just doing the outside and then coming back and doing the inside, we're actually doing every pipe cleaner as we go around the first time, and we're laying them all in the same way. So all with the finished edges to the inside and the outside. It's kind of funny how the least little change in the layout gives you a whole different wreath with a whole different look. Hi, Kelly. It's good to see you. We're also going to be using the 6-inch ribbon. I can't remember who asked me about that, but somebody who had watched my videos a while back, I was doing a lot of them with the 6-inch ribbon pieces. And this design is with that 6-inch ribbon. So I hope whoever was asking me about that gets to see this one. I've had so much going on, I can't remember much of anything. And as I go, I'm just making sure I kind of try to keep these pipe cleaners up because we want to make sure when we come back and add the ribbons that we don't miss any. I'm not sure if I mentioned this check mesh is a fabric mesh. So this one is a poly burlap and then this one is a fabric. Both are nice to work with. They're easy on your hands because the material is soft. I don't know about you guys, but I make so many of these wreaths that when I pull these pipe cleaners like this, I actually get might even be able to see it on the camera. I get calluses on my fingers from where I make so many. Seems kind of crazy, but you think it looks fuller? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, this is one of my favorite designs. I like the one that I did with the snowman too, but this is one of my favorites. They both designs end up being about 5 inches deep, but for some reason, laying this mesh all in the same direction like this does make it look fuller. And even though I'm using, and I almost always use different meshes, I almost never do a solid mesh on one wreath. I always use 2 or 3 different types. The total amount of mesh used on either this or the snowman design from earlier is a little less than 1 roll. So it's like a 1 roll wreath, which is cool because it's 24 inches wide and about 5 inches deep. So that's pretty good. And then poly burlap mesh tends to look a little fuller anyway, just because it's a little more substantial, I think. The only thing is the ends of it does tend to fray. So that's why it's important to get those ends curled under the best you can. Okay, so now that's all of our mesh. So now we need to add the ribbons. And this is pretty easy to do. Pretty easy design. Okay, so what I do when I use the 6-inch pieces is I will just start with one of the 6-inch pieces. I'm going to start with the brown, and this it looks kind of like, I don't know if you guys can see real good with my lighting, but it looks like it's wrinkled, but it's actually designed to look like that. It has kind of like a weathered leather look almost with a metallic sheen. And then I lay that in front of me, the 6-inch piece. One end's dovetailed, one end straight. I just scrunch the straight end and pinch that in between my fingers. And then I lay it in the first pipe cleaner. I'm going to pull that tight and twist it once. And then I'm going to use the pumpkin over top of that. So these are 12 inches long. Scrunch it in the middle and V it back towards myself, and then place it right over top of that. And then I'm going to twist 3 or 4 times because this is where I'm going to finish it off. Thank you, Kelly. And again, I leave a 1/2 inch or so I can push that down in and squeeze it. Adjust my ribbon tails. And now we're ready to go on to the next one. And we're going to rotate. So now we'll use the burnt orange 6-inch piece. Same thing, lay it in front of me, scrunch the end together. Place it in the next one. Twist it once. And then now we're going to use our sentiment ribbon or sentimental ribbon. This is family, gratitude, turkey. It has all kinds of nice fall terms. I did not scrunch that in the middle, so when I pull it back, it's okay though. I can just even it up, make sure these are even. And just when you place the 12-inch one on top, make sure that your 6-inch one is coming out the middle. And open up our next one. And this gets a little tricky. Make sure you don't miss these orange ones that are on that inside, those inside two rings. And we're just gonna, we've got our pattern established and we're just gonna rotate it. I started out doing these 6-inch pieces because when I first learned to make wreaths from watching other people, they were doing two 12-inch pieces in designs similar to this. And I was losing so much ribbon that you couldn't even see half of the ribbon. So I thought that was a huge waste, and I'm very frugal. So that's what prompted the 6-inch design, is that I thought, this way you can see all of the ribbons that we've put in. But if I had used a whole 12-inch piece here, half of it would have gotten lost under these other ribbons. So that's how I started making these. When I first started out as well, I didn't have a lot of money to invest, so I had to grow slowly, and I had to, make my ribbon stretch as far as it could. So I didn't want to waste it. And I'm still frugal, if we want to be honest. I think I always will be. I don't like to waste the ribbon. Okay. Again, our 6-inch piece first. Crunch the end. The wires are getting caught on my mesh. Okay. And we're just going to repeat this process all the way around. Remember, we have 18 pipe cleaners, so we're going to do this 18 times. You totally understand, Kelly? Yes. And the thing of it is, too, the prices are so much higher now than when I started. I think it was in 2017 with making wreaths. And the ribbon prices, they've probably doubled. And mesh too. Mesh has really increased. You love the ribbon, thank you. Now you'll notice that like most of the ribbon is to the outside, and that's because our sign is a 12-inch sign that's going to take up most of this middle section. So that's one of the reasons I like to do this layout with the 12-inch sign. Since I started doing the 6-inch ribbons, I've actually even done this design with only one ribbon per pipe cleaner and not done the 6-inch piece. And it also turns out very pretty, especially if you have substantial good quality mesh underneath. It still works just fine. So that's another way that you can end up with a pretty design showing lots of ribbon tails, but saving money. I haven't done a new design with the 6 inch in a while. This one is a design from last year. You have to watch the replay to get the beginning. You had a call. Okay, Teresa, that's fine. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Lori. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is one of my favorite designs. I also do a snowman wreath similar to this that I like really well. And it's been probably to date my most popular design ever. It's not the snowman that I did earlier today. It's actually a red, black, and white version of the snowman. I think the popularity is due to the fact that it can be used after Christmas. It's not just Christmas colors. I'll probably end up doing one of those on here. You also ordered some things from your shop. I seen the name Teresa pop up on my shop, and I said I bet that's her. Thank you so very much. Oh, thank you. I'll definitely get them out to you. Etsy holds me to a time schedule, and I'm not gonna miss that because then they'll throttle my sales and they won't show my items to people. So I will get them out definitely by the date that it says. I so appreciate the support. You missed the one this morning, Kelly. Yes, it was a snowman. It's a really cute one with like iridescent glitter and stuff. So it's one of mine that I like really well too. Probably one of my favorites for Christmas. One thing about using the 6 inch piece in the middle is it does take a little bit longer to place all the ribbons in, but it's not much of a difference. You love all my wreaths. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. I hope to get to do some new designs soon. I mean, if I can be honest, that's the part I'm missing the most because everything that I'm going to be doing live, you guys have never seen before because I haven't done it on live before. But they're customer orders, so they're repeat wreaths for me, not a new design. And I really, most of my satisfaction comes from creating new stuff. So hopefully, I'll get to do some of that soon. I did get to design some wreath kits, so I'm happy that I got to do that. And I also, lots of people who buy my wreath kits send me pictures of their wreaths, so I get to see the finished result, which is really nice. And it's important when you're using the 6 inch piece too to make sure when you're tying that in that you pull that very tight because you do not want this to come out. You want it to be held in there really well. There have been several of you guys that have ordered for my business, and I really appreciate it. I don't mention my customers by name. Hey, Shannon. I don't mention my customers by name when they buy from me because I feel like that's private. Thank you so much. Would you like to see more of that beautiful mesh, which is covered by all of those ribbons? Yes, I know. And I'm only using a 6-inch piece and a 12-inch piece. So in each one, and it still gives that much coverage. So it's kind of crazy. But this was a design I was explaining earlier I did last year. So, and the customer just bought it. So I'm actually remaking it because the original one sold also. And so I have to do exactly what I did before. I too am a big fan of the mesh showing because this is some gorgeous mesh and really good quality mesh. And we're only going to see a little bit of it around the sun, unfortunately. I was saying something and lost my train of thought, you guys. Forget what I was saying. Okay, you do like to see. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought Shannon said that. That's Shirley. Yes, Shirley, I agree. And that is also one of the reasons that I switched to even eliminating this 6-inch because when you do that, then you can see a little bit more of the mesh. So I have designs where I just put one 12-inch ribbon per pipe cleaner. I have to do one like that so everybody can kind of see the contrast. I try to do a variety of styles just because, everybody does also have a unique taste. And some people like to see more ribbon, some like to see more mesh, some like to see an equal amount of both. So I try to always mix up my designs and do different things. Shannon likes the mesh showing sometimes, but sometimes you do a bunch of ribbons. Yeah, I try to mix it up. Try to make sure that I have a variety, so there'll be something for everyone, kind of, I guess, is my philosophy, if that's even possible. Oh, thank you, Teresa. I really appreciate that. I definitely love to design. And I'm always experimenting, seeing what works and what doesn't work. Sometimes it turns out, sometimes it don't. Okay, we've almost made it around. It almost kind of looks like a pinwheel the way the ribbons kind of spiral. I don't know. It seems like you're laying them in there straight, but then when the overall final design kind of looks like they spiral a little bit. I actually slanted them. Those turned out really pretty too. Where I did the same pattern that I'm doing here, but slanted it as I laid it in. I think I did it live with one of those actually. Yes, I hope she does too, Kelly. And I also hope she had a very nice visit with her family. Okay, we've got 3 more after this one. And I mentioned a little bit earlier, but I wanted to make sure I said it again for anybody that joined later. Tomorrow, I will be doing a Christmas green monster wreath and also a garland. There'll be two separate lives. Oh, that's okay, Guadalupe. It's nice to have you. There'll be two separate lives, but we'll be doing the wreath first, and then later in the day tomorrow, I will do the garland. Unfortunately, I can't commit to times because things are kind of not stable around here, so I kind of have to wait and see when I'll be able to do it, but I definitely will be doing them tomorrow. It's a full house. You needed to watch me for a bit. Oh, yeah, I get like that too. I have to take a break sometimes and get overwhelming. Here, and I hope to very soon be able to do a new one. I already have the materials for it, so I'm hoping to be able to do a new one for this year. Okay, and we've got some extra ribbons cut here. It's okay. I always have extra, and it's better than too short. Thank you, Donna. Too many ribbons is better than not enough ribbons. That's when I panic, is when I have not enough ribbons. Okay, our last pumpkin. Almost ready to add the sign. Me too, Shannon. To be fair, I've made a couple customer orders, but I've been avoiding social media. So, but I'm happy that I'm doing it again, and I can do it with you guys since I've missed you guys. And the only crafting I've done is literally my orders. Wish you could finish your wreath in less than an hour. I tell you what, I did not used to be able to do that either, Donna. And to be fair, I have a lot of this material prepped ahead of time. It takes me, if I count cutting my mesh, cutting my ribbons, gathering my materials, and all that, it takes me right about an hour to finish everything. Sometimes a little more. This one probably a little more because it's the extra step of adding that 6-inch piece. And it was not always that way. I used to be very, very, very slow. And sometimes I'm still slow if I'm doing something that's new to me or that I haven't done before. So don't feel bad and just keep at it. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Shannon. You guys are the best. My support network. Okay, so we have this 12-inch sign. I've already, this had a hole in the top already here. So I wired it with a 26 gauge floral wire, just poked it through and twisted it. Same thing here at the bottom, except there was no hole. I used my metal hole punch to just add a hole there. Okay, so we're going to just feed our wires down through and go around 2 of the rings on the frame. And when I do that, I'm going to pull this piece of mesh out because I don't want those wires to mash in that piece of mesh there. I'll be doing a lot of adjusting here in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of pull it tight, not real tight, but snug. And I'm going to twist it and I'm going to trim it. But I'm not going to wrap it around the wreath form yet until I make sure I have it centered and the other end twisted. So I'm going to turn it around. And then the other thing is the holes. There's actually 2 holes up there. It's not just 1 hole in the center. There's 2 holes. So I had to, when I did my hole punching, I had to kind of come diagonal to keep it even. And then the other thing about pulling out this piece of mesh and putting that wire behind it is that covers the wire. So we won't see that. He looked and looked and looked for me. Oh no, I would never block anybody. I mean, somebody would have to be really, really, really inappropriate for me to even think about blocking them, Teresa. I have had a lot of personal issues going on. If you haven't been on my page, then you wouldn't be aware of those. But we're working through them and things are going to be just fine. I have faith. Okay, so that's pretty centered. So I went ahead and wrapped this wire. I'm going to come up here and go ahead and wrap this one. I'm just wrapping the wire around one of the rings on the wreath form and then pushing the sharp edge up inside. The sharp end of the wire. Okay, and now I just want to do some adjusting because we've got some of this underneath, some of it out. I just want to adjust this so some of that mesh shows all the way around. And I'll probably adjust it more when I hang it up because you can always see better when you hang something up and look at it straight on. Okay, and there we go. That is our finished fall design. So we get a little bit of the mesh, but only right around the sign. Most of our mesh on the side view here is covered. Actually, I think this might, because of where I mashed this down, this might be a little bit less than 5 inches. I think this is probably closer to 4 inches deep because of putting the sign and then pressing down. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you guys so much. And then I will be back tomorrow and we'll do the green monster. So if any of you guys are available, watch for that. If not, it'll be on replay if you don't catch me. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. You all have a wonderful night and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Donna.